Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions Radio. Hello. Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions Radio Show. Hello. Long introduction there. Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions Radio Show with Ron Couming of RCS Online Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs, much like you, attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients to achieve even greater success. The purpose of this show, I have two different formats depending upon if I have a guest or if we don't have a guest, or if we have one guest. We have two sections. The first is from 11 to 11:30, then 11:30 to 12. If we have a guest or two, they will come on, and every one of them has been vetted by me, subject matter experts in their own space, and they've been there and done that. And that's what you want in life. You don't want advice. You want to seek counsel from people who have already done what you want to do. And in listening to them, you'll be able to better understand and navigate issues that may come up in your entrepreneur career. And in the event we don't have a guest that day, I will be giving you actionable tips that will help you achieve even greater success. Today, we are lucky to have with us Angel Tuccy, and she is an award-winning national radio host, professional speaker, and a multi-time best-selling author. For 10 years, she hosted over 2,000 broadcasts and interviewed almost 4,000 guests, including popular names in the business, such as Michael Gerber, Laura Ingraham, Bill Walsh, Sharon Lechter, and Jackie Collins. Angel is one of the country's leading authorities on media and marketing today, reaching the top 1% of her field for being a female who hosted a 4-hour daily radio show. Angel has won awards for Most Innovative Business Inspirational Woman Leader of the Year and the Diamond Leader Award for National Speakers. In honor of her mom, Angel currently sits on the board of Bridge of Hope, helping homeless moms find permanent homes. She and her husband have been married for 26 years. They have 3 adult children and are empty nesters now living in Colorado. Good morning, Angel. How are you?
I'm so good, Ron. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. And tell us, that's a great introduction, radio host to radio host. I've been doing this for just over 3 years now, and I don't know, I think it's, maybe 1,000, but you're rocking it with 4,000 guests.
Well, it's so funny. I was watching a rerun of a Frasier TV show one night, and he was celebrating his 1,000th broadcast, and it had never dawned on me to really count them. And so we went back in the archives and started counting, and and at that point, I think we were just getting ready to cross over number 1,200. So we started celebrating with our 1,200th show. I know it's a weird mile marker to celebrate, but it got us starting to count. And when you realize how far you've come, I'd be really interested to know how many you've done. I think you'll be excited to know it too.
Yeah, I love it. And what I do just for me, and I've been doing it, is every episode, and this is for the listeners as well, every episode I archive it, both on the radio station, WCAP 980 AM's website, my website, RCS Online Solutions, but then also on my YouTube channel, specifically under radio shows. So I can just go there and just see how many videos are up there, and I'll know how many episodes I've actually done. So
well, there you
me,
go. Somebody's keeping track for you. So what number is this?
I don't know. I can look at it when as we're talking. I just have to pull up YouTube and look at it. But while we're doing that, I've known you for years, and I've seen you around. And recently, we were at Ultimate Wealth Camp in Chicago. While I'm pulling that up, not that my numbers matter, you're the guest today. But while I'm pulling that up, can you tell the listeners a little bit more about who you are and what you do, and how you can help them grow?
Oh, absolutely. So I was a radio show host for 10 years, broadcasting from Denver, Colorado, hosting 2 hours of live talk radio Monday through Friday, a positive business talk show. And so I got to interview pretty much all the top business authorities and authors in the space for that 10-year period. In addition to hosting the 2-hour show, the business talk show, I also was the host of a 2-hour Christian lifestyle show. So I was hosting 4 hours of talk radio back to back every single day when I retired from it last March. And it was one of those turning moments when one door closes, another one opens. Our radio station decided to make a change in the studio and took me and my shows off the air. And I had a decision to make I was 48 years old and my children were moving out. My career seemed like it was falling out from underneath me. And I decided to take everything that I had learned from the insider knowledge of what it takes to get booked in media. And now I travel the country and the globe teaching entrepreneurs, small business owners, how they can leverage those media interviews to create unlimited exposure for their brand, attract more perfect clients, and how they can monetize, but really more importantly, how they can approach the media in a very professional way to be featured as a content expert.
Excellent. And being featured as an expert or seen as an expert will seriously help somebody's business grow, won't it?
Oh, absolutely. And there's so much opportunity. Ron, you are looking for guests, right? You've got a show to fill. Guests bring a level of this dynamic level of interaction that you need, and it's very entertaining. It brings on, it's good for the audience, and it's also great for you too as marketing partners to leverage your knowledge. And so I tell my audiences, there are an unlimited number of media outlets. There's radio shows, there's podcasts, TV shows, magazines, all looking for fresh new content every day. And if they can take their sales hat off and put their publicity hat on for just a couple of minutes and recognize the value that they bring to the table, that educational piece, they can create that exposure. If they've got their messaging buttoned up and dialed in, people will seek them out, and it's a smart way to fill your funnel. But most small business owners are struggling because they're building their business one-to-one. They're doing networking events, they're doing one-on-one coffee meetings, and they're building their business one-to-one. When they leverage the power of media, they get to build their business one-to-many.
I love it. And that's one of the great things I tell my clients, too, is that if they can be seen as an expert in their space, it will really help them. It will help their unique selling proposition, and it will set them apart. If all things are being equal between them and a potential competitor, when it comes down to somebody determining who they're going to actually do business with, that can be a determining factor.
Absolutely. And people are seeking out, right? It's this push versus pull marketing. If you are seen as an influencer, we're looking for you, we're following you, we're checking out your stuff, and followers become customers when they see results. People don't want to be sold to. They don't want that sleazy that uncomfortable sales conversation until they're ready to ask it. But most entrepreneurs, because they're building their business one-on-one, they see every potential business card as an instant transaction, and that's just not the way business is built these days.
I love it. That's excellent. Now, what are some of the ways that you help people once you get their mindset correct? And by the way, mine is 172 videos so far. But I have 3 months. I have 3 months that I still need because it's 3 years. 3 years, once a week, 2 episodes. So I probably could have done that math. But so I still have a way to go. But it's interesting, and it's a great, like you said too. One way of this is a great way of cross promoting. So my guests, my listeners, they get to hear you, and they get to hear the experience you bringing decades worth of experience to the table that can help them grow. But it also opens up the possibility that one or more of them may reach out to you and hire you. And then the flip side of that is, the people that are that you promoted to, that you were going to be on this show, are going to hear me. So it's a great way of cross promoting as well too. So I want the listeners to know that there are so many ways that they can work together with people. It's never competition is really out the window anymore. It's all about collaboration.
You said it. You said it. And I know this is the language you speak every day and what you're teaching your clients as well. And there's a reason why we sound like a broken record is because it doesn't have to be hard. You just have to be smart about it. So we are all somebody's Oprah. Right? There's things that we've all done in our lives, in our world that we think is normal, ain't it? But it's magic to other people. And when we can share that on somebody else's stage, we truly start attracting clients instead of chasing clients. So I teach not only the mindset of getting around that you truly are the influencer, you have a PhD in your story, but then how do you find those media outlets, the right stages for you to be featured on that already are talking to your perfect clientele? And then how do you connect with that journalist and pitch to them in a way that's professional and sets you apart?
Excellent. Now, given that, let's say we have three levels of listeners. One level is just ready to take the plunge. And they might still be working somewhere, but they want to become an entrepreneur, and they're not quite sure what would be like the number 1, 2, and 3 steps for them to take. Then we have the second level would be somebody who's been an entrepreneur 12, 18 months, and they're just getting over the hurdle. They're breaking even or making a little bit of profit now because, as we all know, very rarely do you start your business and make money tomorrow, right? And then the third level would be somebody who's been in business for 3 years and they've already had some success, but they're smart enough to know that whatever got them to that point won't get them to the next level. So they need to figure out something different. And you know, one or more of your tips could be for all levels. But could you just give the listeners some tips on those levels?
Yes, I love how you separated them out because we are all at different levels, but no matter where we are in business, we need to be top of mind. We need to be in front of our prospects and our leads, because if we aren't, the competition will be. And a lot of times we think if we build it, they will come. And that's just not true. There's just so much out there. There's so much noise in media and marketing. So if you can establish yourself position yourself as the leader in one topic. And I see this so often with entrepreneurs. They want to be this, and so much more. I do this and this, and I can do that, and I can wash your windows, I can walk your dog. Pick one. Focus on one thing that you are an expert at and stay in your lane. Be the go-to person and dominate your competition. That anytime somebody thinks of your topic, that you are top of mind and tip of tongue. And instead of feeling like you have to be so many things to so many people, the riches are in the niches. So hone in on one area that you are an expert in and just dominate that space with articles and blogs and groups and all of the marketing, everything in that space. As you develop and become known as that go-to person, position yourself as the expert. What is your purpose? How are you sharing that story more than just I want to make money? And so leverage your story into everything that you're talking about. Why does this matter? I always have my clients go through a 3-part exercise that really starts to draft their media story. So no matter whether you're speaking on Facebook, in person, or in an interview, your story draws out how unique you are in the space. And the 3 parts are why me, why now, and what's the big idea. And the why me is an exercise in what have you done, what are your accomplishments, what are your breakthroughs, what's your street cred, the story behind you that makes you a unicorn or really unique in your space, so that you don't blend in with everybody else. I'm a doctor, I'm an SEO, I'm a media host. They put you in a box. But if we can draw at these 2 or 3 items that really set you apart and make you unique, people start to create that story in their mind, and stories are sticky. The why now is what's going on in the world, what's going on, what's the media already talking about, what's trending that you can newsjack or piggyback on that's already happening. So as we talk about how noisy the media world is, how many people are on social media, and how to leverage that, if you're not leveraging that, people are already talking about it. So now you've got their attention. But we come up with some statistics of why now or what's going on in the world. And the third part is the most important piece to it all, is what's the big idea? Imagine if everybody was following your teachings, your protocol, what you speak on, what you are passionate about. If the whole world was doing that, how would it be different? Paint that story, because people want to be a part of something bigger, and they'll hear your story and they'll think that's me or that's somebody I know, and they'll lean in or push a button or click in for more information. And if we can give them results right off of the bat, that's where they become those loyal followers, those raving fans, those ambassadors, and those high-paying clients.
Wow, I love it, and I love all the different levels. Can you say those three different things again, just the levels?
The why you, or why me, why now, and what's the big idea?
I love it, and I hope the listeners, just so the listeners know, to remind you, this show will be archived, so you can go back and listen to it on WCAP 980 AM as well as RCS Online Solutions, because you're getting some really good gems here. And that's excellent. And now I wanted to ask you a question. Is there any follow-up on that before I move on to the second question I wanted to ask you?
This ends up becoming your media pitch, or even your breakthrough story of how you're being introduced. And so each one of those, it ends up becoming like 5 sentences, and it's far more powerful than just a 60-second elevator pitch. But you'll leverage this story for all of your, if you're reaching out to somebody to be a guest on their show, if you are putting together your online content, even publishing a book, all of that. This media story ends up becoming the keystone to all of it.
I love it. And consistency, and people seeing and hearing about you the same way over and over again increases the probability that they're going to see you that way. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, Dan Fleischman, if you remember him from Who's Your Daddy, and I think he was at the same event too. Yeah, he talks about even your pictures on all your social media platforms. Whatever your profile picture is should be the same. You know what I mean? So I love what you're saying, because it really drives home the necessity to create those 3 levels, but then you can use them all over the place. And I noticed that you interviewed some really great people. Michael Gerber is one of my he's been one of my mentors, even though I've yet to actually meet him, by his books. And he's amazing. When he talks about Being That's Revisited. And can you talk about things you learned from him? Because one of the biggest things I think entrepreneurs get stuck in is they want to be the be all do all. And if you're a life coach, you're not a graphic artist, you're not a PR person, you're not a website person. You need to learn it, do it, and delegate it. Learn it enough to a point where you're not getting taken advantage of, and you know what's involved. So if somebody's not telling you it takes 12 hours when it really takes 3, and trying to overcharge you. But you got to stay in your zone, like the niches that you were talking about. And when you can do that, and you learn to delegate, then you are now working on your business opposed to being in your business. And that's one of Michael Gerber's biggest things. And that's when people go from infancy to adolescence, when we're talking about their business cycles. That must have been amazing to actually interview him.
He was fun. He is a super fun. And in his book, The E-Myth Revisited, and the concept, I think, especially for entrepreneurs, because we wear every hat. We're starting out. Most small business owners, or in fact, statistics will tell you that 94% of small business owners never break 6 figures. And so they're not taking paychecks. There's actually an epidemic of entrepreneurs who are not taking paychecks. And so we're doing everything because we don't feel like we can afford to hire. But there are so many things that are keeping us from creating revenue. And if they're stopping you from creating revenue, you're never going to be able to hire somebody. And so the very first piece really starts with your pricing model, because if you don't have any type of buffer in there for a sales commission or affiliate fees, you will always be your only salesperson. You'll always be the one having to market. And so the very first piece I would recommend, especially after listening to Michael and interacting with Michael, is put together a pricing structure and a pricing model that you can afford to pay commissions, that you've got a little bit of a buffer, that you can raise your rate so you can hire more of those pieces that are not in your wheelhouse. Stay in your lane and hire people that can stay in theirs. And there's so many resources. You don't even have to hire somebody full time. There are virtual assistants. There are contractors. There's even in the coaching pieces, if you hire somebody that coaches you in that space, you'll probably discover in 90 days all these little shortcuts and hacks, how to streamline it, how to automate it, how to systematize it, and it'll free up so much time for you. And then the third piece is, so first, of course, work on your pricing structure, automate as much and put systems in place for as many pieces as you can. And then the third piece is to create a team. Create a team around you that even if they are virtual, that they are taking those admin or those high busy activities off of your plate so that every single week you are creating revenue. And for most entrepreneurs, the biggest struggle for revenue, once they've got those pieces in place, is exposure. And with more exposure, you attract more leads, you bring more people through your sales funnel, you're making more money, you've automated the systems, and you've got a virtual team that is taking over the other pieces, and you create this incredible cycle. But it all ties into how much exposure is your business getting on a monthly, weekly, daily basis that is attracting more clients into your funnel.
I love it. And you just hit upon one of my biggest, phrases or taglines is awareness equals opportunity. You can be the best in class. You can have the best website, the best funnels, the best videos, the best copy, and you can have outright the best service. But if people don't know about you or they can't find you, you don't have that exposure, you really don't have anything. You're leaving 70-80% of who you could serve and how much you could make on the table. I love that point that you just made. And that's what that's what I do with the SEO. I tell people, you've got to get on the first page. You've got to, people have got to become aware of you. So I love that you're saying that as well. But we're down right now to probably about 7 minutes and 6 minutes or so. And what I'd love is, for you to just, let the people know anything. Our listeners, roughly 1.7 million reach. And what I'd like you to do is let the listeners know anything that you feel is important to them. And if you have like an opt-in, a free book or a PDF for people, please give that out as well as your contact information.
Well, thank you, Ron. Well, I do. It is all about exposure. Everything in marketing. If you go to any conferences, and I speak at small business conferences all over the country, the most popular ones are the rooms that talk about marketing and how to get more customers, because this is the biggest challenge for small business owners. If you can dial in the exposure, where you're getting exposure on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, then you'll always know. You'll have the formula for how many clients do I need to, attract this month, how many people do I need to be in front of, and how am I going to create that exposure. Once you know that, once you have that formula dialed in, you'll know exactly who to pitch, how to pitch, and what to pitch. You'll know exactly what you need to be doing to keep your sales funnel full. So create your media story. Why you? Why now? What's at stake? And then go to the Google and look up your topic and look up the news outlets that are covering your topic. You're going to be lovingly and pleasantly surprised to see that there are millions of news outlets that are covering your topic already today. And that's our starting point for how we'll start to build your organic media database, how to build that relationship with those journalists so that when they're looking for an expert in the space, that you are the next one in line. They've already heard of you. Getting more people to say, I've heard of you, shortens your sales cycle by 60%. That's why this media exposure is so valuable. And Ron, there's a lot of people out there that talk about media exposure from they've done it for themselves. But there's not a lot of people in this space that said, I've been in here for 10 years. I know I've got the relationships. I know what they're looking for. I've been on the insider track, and I'm going to teach that to you, which is why my complimentary media guide is so valuable. If you want to get the ball rolling, you want to create a snowball of media exposure. And so when you go to makeyourbigimpact.com, you can download a complimentary media guide. It has guaranteed media outlets that all you have to do is send them. I give you the headlines, exactly what to send to them, and pitch to this list of guaranteed media so you can start getting your name out there and creating that exposure on a regular basis. And media attracts media. Once you've got your foot in the door, you'll discover that more media opportunities show up because you're out there, you're showing the world exactly what it looks like. But you have to follow the Kennedy rule when it comes to media exposure, and that's not asking them what they're going to do for you, but asking what you can do for them. And that opens up so many doors, not only in media, but in all relationships. So in the complimentary media guide, I teach you exactly how to send a media pitch. I give you a full year's worth of media headlines and a list of media outlets that you can pitch to right away to create your own brand exposure, set you up as an authority in the space. So if you're looking for more exposure, you want to connect with media, you want outlets, how do I pitch them? What do I say to them? I put everything in that complimentary media guide at makeyourbigimpact.com. But the world needs your story. No matter where you've been, what you've done, the world needs your story. And the media outlets are looking for stories. They're not looking for an infomercial. They're looking for education and entertainment that is going to keep their audience engaged. By crafting your media story, finding your purpose, positioning yourself as the expert, all of that starts to tie in together. And I always tell my clients, try to hide the astonishment on your face when it happens, because it's going to happen exactly as clockwork. There's a system, there's a proven method. It's not just throwing spaghetti at the wall that so many small business owners are doing. But once you leverage how to speak one-to-many, you're going to find that the answer's been in front of you the whole time.
I love it. And one great point about that as well is once they start getting those interviews, they'll be able to repurpose those. They'll be able to use those clips, and they can transcribe them and use them as blogs. They can use them as clips up on YouTube and social media. So they can get a lot of good traction out of one episode that they do somewhere. They can repurpose that 5 or 6 different times.
Yeah, it is. It's all duplication. It's taking something that you've done once and repurposing it. This is the secret sauce of why you can find people like they're everywhere. I see you everywhere. You're in books, you're in magazines, you're here. It's because they are staying one in their lane, focusing on their one thing. So they have their one talking point, their one signature talk, and so everything ties back to that one signature topic. And duplicating that out through all of your social media, through your blogs, to even publishing, even speaking, affiliate links, all of that, you start to feel like you're cloning yourself.
I love it. Thank you so much. Now, could you give us your contact information one more time? And this has really been a great interview.
Ron, I am so grateful that you invited me on today. I loved interacting with you. I know our paths have crossed several times throughout the last couple of years, and hearing your story and your breakthrough, you are so inspiring to so many people. And I just want to say congratulations on your success and your achievements. You can find me at makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. And once you get there, you can download that complimentary media guide as my gift to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And again, readers, this episode, as all episodes, will be archived up on the radio's website, radio station's website, WCAP 980 AM, my website, RCS Online Solutions. A few days, it'll all be up there. So thank you. You've been listening to Tuccy on the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ron Couming of RCS Online Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs, much like you, achieve even greater success by attracting, converting, and retaining their ideal customers and clients using various internet marketing techniques and methods. Stay tuned for our second episode where we're going to talk to you about how to market your videos to get a minimum of 80% more exposure.